I think he's coming back on. Here he comes. If I do a mental evaluation, though,
I will not go.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. If you're compelled at this point because you are not conducting yourself in a manner that would allow me to find you are competent. Either you are an outright obstructionist, which would be violative of this court's order and expectations, or you are unable.
Do you know what precedential means?
I'm not going to argue with you.
Please tell the audience what precedential means.
Oh my, I'm just not going to do it.
190304, West Virginia Supreme Court has ruled that felonies never have to come to an end. I still have a felony pending from 11 years ago that has never had a disposition of an indictment. And these people here that sit around and talk about false imprisoning other humans, she sits there and talks about false imprisoning other people for the rest of their lives. These are sick, demonic humans right here that are unconstitutional and a major threat to all the people that they are near. And they want me to take a pleading of not guilty or guilty. I don't want to take that pleading. I want to take what West Virginia Supreme Court has ruled that a felony can come to an ending of. There is no such thing as guilty, not guilty, dismissed, administrative dismissal, or acquittal. It is a new thing in the state of West Virginia where a way a felony can end. That is, defendant can go to an emergency room and case can be dismissed. The case can be closed without a disposition.
I anticipated the court being concerned with him being incarcerated when he may have a mental status issue.
I'm not going to go. I'm not going to any of that shit. I am not going to any mental evaluation. West Virginia House of Delegates, you got to do something about these people.
He does have a hit and run causing injury. He still
You lying son of a bitch, there wasn't no hit and run, nothing.
when his legal status is
That was that case right there, everybody. That case right there is the day, an hour and 47 minutes after the West Virginia Supreme Court scheduling order was released. Both counties arrested me. Monongalia County and Marion County, where the 3-year false imprisonment started. Monongalia County, where the West Virginia University Medicine is that's doing the Medicaid and Social Security fraud.
He won't do it voluntarily. So let me ask you.
You're not going to force me into any doctor's offices.
In order for me to do it if I'm doing it sua sponte, because John, clearly
You can't force me into a doctor's office.
I believe we would prepare the order if you ordered an evaluation.
yeah, there's a form I can fill out.
She is teaching me to break the law of America, because in the video right before this, you've seen her with no face mask on. There's never been endings to a felony from 10 years ago.
I think that's part of the process.
John, I know you have your
Unmuting.
duties and then your duties to him.
His duties is to prove he will not go to the Scott's Place homeless shelter where I pulled up right before this, right before the last hearing where you see me in the green t-shirt. I pulled up there and was trying to find some people to pay $10 just to come and record me. And I couldn't find anybody, but a 56-year-old man was driving me. And the one camera footage from the Marion County Courthouse shows me climbing up a bank and climbing up a bank and going to get, knocking on a door is what I was doing to see if anybody would record me. And I get back in the passenger seat and we go from there right across the street. And they put an unlawful warrant for my arrest right now. And put a person that's not even a police officer does the, a person that's not even a police officer did the police report. I was not even pulled over. 30 minutes later, the sheriff's department is pulling up behind my vehicle after 30 minutes after you see me walk away. And then a towing company came. They had this premeditated to do. This is major bias crimes because the magistrate is so mad. He speaks his mind. He speaks his mind. You're not going to do an evaluation on me. See what these bitches are trying to do? This bitch here said on the record that they false imprisoned another man in life. West Virginia University Medicine did. And to think that I am going to go to any medical appointment where these bitches can put me away for the rest of my life, they are insane. I'm not going to go to any medical appointments. They're going to try to arrest me and try to force me in one. They've been doing this everywhere. From Morgantown to Marion County to Kanawha County, they are all trying to put me away in a mental institution as a slave for the rest of my life so that they can make me a fraud slave like they're doing to everybody there. Signing people up on Social Security while they're incarcerated, and they are stealing Medicaid funds when they get them signed up on SSI. It's what the entire state is doing. I am here to use my First Amendment. I am not going to plead guilty or not guilty to anything, America, if I have a 10-year-old felony that has never came to an end. Why should I, if a case can end that way, that can be a pleading now.
I don't quickly go and say hold somebody in contempt of court, but he creates Facebook pages.
That they paid Facebook to shut down. That was exposing it all. I had 800 followers.
Bailiff complaining that I wasn't wearing a face mask, even though I'm in the courtroom alone.
So what? You're in a public place. You're in a public place.
Clearly capable of finding the right people when he has a complaint. So I don't know if this
In the House of Delegates, she needs fired for what she said on page 95. She needs fired. She should never be called Your Honor when she sits there and talks about false imprisoning people, calling me a hostage, planning on putting me away for the rest of my life is what she is planning on doing. This whole state wants to put me away to not stop the slave plantation that they are doing. Somebody has got to free these fraud slaves. They are fraud slaves everywhere. There's hundreds of fraud slaves being held with this competency shit. They are not convicted people. WVU Medicine is sentencing these people to fraud to fund the state of West Virginia. None of the people in Sharp Hospital in Weston, West Virginia are convicted people by any jury. They are sentenced there by doctors to be able to steal Medicaid funds, is what this is all about. And I am not going to back down from these bitches talking about putting me away for the rest of my life. Talk about stealing and making me a slave for the rest of my life. I was a slave for 3 years that ruined my life, that haunts me every day. This past month, I've had 2 PTSD dreams. War people, how dare you say that you're helping this country when you got these dirty bitches like her inside this country creating slavery? West Virginia has 100% a slave plantation.
Chris.
I want a breast cancer evaluation done on you, Judge. I'm going to file that today. Oh, that was a quick one right there. Shut off. You know, she got mad on page 84, where I brought up, that's as true as you having breast cancer, you know, and she threw me out of the courtroom. But these bitches think that they can sit there and harass me. Somebody has got to stop this.
Can you hear me now?
You got sex offending judges in the state of West Virginia. You got judges talking on the record about false imprisoning people. You got felonies never coming to an end. You got the committee's cult members. West Virginia is a cult. It's a small group of people that worship and praise certain things and have a thing towards me and paying me the money. You will see that. You know, they are all cult members believing in something that is wrongful in every other state.
What they're saying is that he's charged with some misdemeanor crimes in Marion County. He's presumed innocent of those. So as far as the motion itself...
Why make laws if the Sheriff's Department does not have to follow them? The Sheriff's Department, I turned in a FOIA request. I didn't. My one friend did. And they will not give up the FOIA requests. What the fuck are we to do when the judges are not following humanity laws, constitutional laws, and the sheriffs are not following laws? FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act. The cameras show what I already described. None of these bitches have to follow laws. Who the fuck are we to bow down to these people like they're gods? We need to stop this, America. You got to defend this country. The vaccinations are coming soon. I am no slave. I am on this earth. No one has the rights controlling my freedoms.
There's meaningful work on the case.
If they arrest him, he's gonna be in Marion County, right?
I presume so, Judge, but okay.
If Your Honor scheduled a hearing here, I assume he could be brought back for the hearing.
I don't know that. I don't know if I want it. I don't. In terms of an evaluation.
Are you thinking of who?
In terms of slavery, she just said slavery.
Okay.
Nobody in Sharp Hospital is getting any help. I have 4 recordings from people inside of the slave plantation. The one man almost starts crying when he tells the story. He's talking a little bit crazy, but you're going to go crazy in there when you're being forced on medication. And the other girl is being forced on Ativan. She's getting dizzy. Her eyes are not dilating. And she is being held down and forced to take medication. That's what you will hear her voice say. She was in Highland Hospital. I
Found him in contempt that Chris is right, I believe. The court can revoke his bond and schedule a hearing.
I am not going to plead guilty or not guilty. I'm going to plead the West Virginia precedential case. Defendant has completed hospitalization, which means indictments never have to come to an end. That's the only pleading I'm taking. If a 10-year-old felony goes that way, all these scams that they are trying to do, we've let people in the meeting know you're waiting. If you're organizer, I am not going to take this abuse much longer if the House of Delegates does not save me. You know, this is down and dirty what they're doing. Nobody has ever heard of a re-indictment. If the House of Delegates does not stop this, and I can't work the rest of my life, the job I want, if I can't drive for 2 years my freedom of travel, they are being completely destructive to my freedom and happiness in this country. I will have nothing to lose. I'm here still, guys. I'm gonna keep clicking in circles. They're calling me obstructing, but I'm wanting to plead the way a 10-year-old felony ended. They say I need the competency evaluation, but look who's not competent. The people that are in elected offices are the ones that are causing the problems in my life with their unlawfulness. By having a felony never come to an end of guilty, not guilty, dismissed, administrative dismissal, or acquittal. It has to say one of those all over the entire United States of America. But the one that made it out of this fraud slave plantation and exposes everything going on is never getting the end of a felony. They need the mental evaluations by thinking that I have to plead guilty or not guilty when 11 years ago I pleaded guilty, or no, I pleaded not guilty, and it never did come to an ending of either one of the two. So I'm not going to change. I'm not going to bow down to these bitches in black dresses and do what they want. They're going to have to do what the law is now in the state of West Virginia. With my precedential case, if you have felonies pending in the state of West Virginia and a company tells you you can't get a job because of that, pull up Zachary Knotts versus the state of West Virginia, where indictments no longer are meaningful. In the United States Supreme Court, those dirty people there seen all the Medicaid fraud laying in front of them, and they've done nothing. Somebody has got to stop this slavery. And it's what my mission is going to be. They're putting fake arrest warrants everywhere. Nobody is following the law in the government, but I'm expected to follow the laws. House of Delegates, you either stop this with what I've already submitted, or ... I am not going to let this abuse and let these people kill me. You are not paranoid when it's the actual truth that people are out to get you, out to harm you. With the shit they are saying on page 95 that I will put right below this video here, you read that sickening conversation. Think that man was in there, end up being a slave where the state was getting $750 a day in that man's name. And he was in there for 14 years over a $20 bill theft. And these bitches sitting here that you're to call your honor sit there and masturbate as they're doing this shit to innocent humans. And I am so glad I record everything, because my next video is going to show the magistrate in a fit of anger where he was threatening me, calling me an idiot, calling me a bastard. And he was threatening to arrest me if I did not sign a probation, a 2-year probation for a road ticket. Who in the fuck have you ever heard of to get a probation for running a stop sign, or a probation for speeding for 2 years? Anyways, that magistrate was so mad, he spoke his mind. He said, "Don't worry, we will get your car later on." That was on October 2nd. In October 27th, when I did my green t-shirt video, I pulled up in front of the courthouse with Michael. Michael was driving me, a 56-year-old man, and tried to go in the courtroom, and that's the video you've seen in the green t-shirt one. And then I walked away looking for Mike, and On the way back, I seen him when I went to the house where I thought he was at. He said, I went looking for your Jeep and I couldn't find it anywhere. What? And they impounded it. You'll see me walking away, then like 30 minutes later, a sheriff's department car shows up, takes a police report. A person did a police report that is not even a police officer, claiming I was driving. And then a towing company comes and they impound my vehicle. How righteous, lawful is that right there? Cameras do not lie. That's why these bitches don't want you to have cameras in a courtroom. This shit is out of control to not interrupt their slavery operation for fraud, because they need this in order to fund all the welfare sows that need food stamps and Medicaid and stuff like that. So they have to steal funds in all these people's names to support the rest of the state of West Virginia. It is not right that those slaves are being held there and tortured every day. It's sad. I know the pain that these people are in. I was tortured for 3 years by these fucking bitches that you're supposed to call your honor, who are making child porn and then talking about false imprisonment people. I know the pain that those other victims are in the slave plantation. Slavery is supposed to be ended with the 13th Amendment, and the state of West Virginia has introduced it using one of the Democrat excuses. Children, educational, medical excuses is what the Democrats use to do anything wrongful. Like right now, be prepared. In 3 months, the United States of America is going to be shutting down. A TSA supervisor guy told me in the Pittsburgh International Airport that is going to happen. He said in 3 months, the United States will be on a shutdown, and 60 years and older are going to be forced to take the vaccination, and then it will be the children forced to take the vaccination. It is the mark of the beast. Do not take the mark of the beast. The patent number 060606, all the rest of the numbers by Bill Gates. These sick people in West Virginia that are politics are believing that the Center for Disease Control is real, when Bill Gates is the owner of the Center for Disease Control. Bill Gates is the son of a man who was aborting babies in the planned life and selling their body parts to people on the black market. That's who is creating this entire thing. And Los Angeles, California, is right now going back on a lockdown, and they're going to make it to where you have to be vaccinated to be able to go shopping. As the Bible says, you will not be able to buy, sell, or trade anything at the end of times. And that's what it's coming to. One of the airplane companies is going to make it a rule that you have to be vaccinated. Hawaii has just made it a law. The mayor there did, or of one of the big cities in Hawaii, or the governor, one of the two, I can't remember which one, has made it a law where if you don't have proof that you were vaccinated, that you were tested, you have to go into quarantine. If you're going there for vacation, if you don't have proof that you were tested, you have to be going into quarantine for 2 weeks. This shit is all planned out. On the 15th of December, something is projected to be happening. Probably the market's going to collapse, and there will be changing to cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency now is going up higher than ever before. Bitcoin was at $3,000 a share, and now it's in the 20,000s. That's going to turn into probably $1 trillion, because PayPal is starting to accept payments in Bitcoin, and they're slowly shifting over to the new Bitcoin. I am never going to take the mark of the beast. Look at all the Walmarts right now. You can only enter on the food sides. They want you remembering food as the last thing that you got, or last thing that you seen when you entered and when you left, because they're going to be making you think, I got to have the mark of the beast to be able to go food shopping. And then why did they change over credit cards to where you're holding your hand there longer? Because they're slowly indoctrinating everybody. I came up with this conclusion. We'll see how true it is. Common sense. They're slowly indoctrinating everybody to bow down to these governments. And you're going to have the microchip in your hand. Hold your hand there longer, paying for things is what's going to happen. And you're going to feel that it's normal holding your hand there longer. Be prepared. And there will be a corn shortage and rice shortage coming soon. I'm not going to let these people kill me. I'm not going to play their games. It is not anything fake. Casey at the West Virginia Supreme Court said that they're having meetings and they're discussing me in their meetings about putting me away for the rest of my life or killing me. And that's what it's going to come to. I'm going to keep on pressing rejoin. They may have shut it down. But West Virginia Supreme Court, you have made it to where indictments never have to come to an end. So I'm not going to take your bullshit not guilty pleading if it doesn't mean anything. It never ends. I give no consent to be seen anywhere and will not go to any medical appointments that they're trying to force me in all over the state of West Virginia, as you've seen in my YouTube channels, because they know they'll make me a slave for the rest of my life. I'm going to sign out now.